We're recording.
I'm loving the way that we haven't even started the episode. And I know, Feeksy, you've been up all night thinking about innuendos and euphemisms, all ball related. I mean, look, you've probably got like a little bingo card's worth there, haven't you?
You won't see inside this book.
Yeah.
That's what you like to think that Feeks has been doing, but actually he's just been sat in his bed just going, balls, and with his wife going, will you shut up?
Proper Beavis and Butthead style.
Yeah. I had for this pre-recording, pre-starting podcast intro bit that we do, I asked ChatGPT to write us a script.
Okay.
So I've just sent it to the chat because I didn't want any of you to see it beforehand. So scroll to the top, and this is ChatGPT's script. You've all got lines. It's ChatGPT's script for what a typical New Dice Please intro is. So sound effects, mic feedback, rustling papers, someone adjusting dice trays loudly, faint crowd noises from a Blood Bowl match in the background. All right, mics are on, dice are off the table. Feeks, stop breathing into your headset like you're scouting a blitz play in a war film.
Mate, I am scouting emotionally for the listeners.
You say that like any of this podcast is emotionally healthy.
Scott, are you not?
Oh, sorry. Fuck, sorry. I didn't know we were doing a read through. I was further down reading it from my own. I was like, can we agree no one sings their team roster this time? Looking directly at you, Hovel.
Okay. It was lyrical. It brought heart, and you all clapped.
We clapped because we thought you'd stopped.
Okay, what are we covering today? Match recaps, team tier list, or just the usual complaining about dice and pretending we know what positioning means? That's so accurate.
That's a deep burn.
Don't worry, I've got some actual notes this time. Just need to find them under this sandwich. 1 accurate, 2 ChatGPT, cheeky fuck. Sorry, did I swear? But yeah.
Brilliant. Feeks?
I've got a spreadsheet, 3 grudges, and no plan. Let's go.
Perfect. That leaves just one last ritual, doesn't it?
Oh no, not again.
Jesus. When the fog creeps low across the astrogranite and the grass smells of dreams unfulfilled, that's when you know, boys, it's podcast time.
Why do I sound like a wizard who failed his GCSEs?
Because you were born under the sign of the dropped reroll, and the valleys remember, Feeksy.
The valleys remember nothing. They're traumatized.
Honestly, let's just roll with it. We cursed every episode, and somehow we've still got listeners.
All right, mics are live, brains are not. Welcome back to New Dice, please.
So I've made it right. So hang on, let me read it because the ending bit is great. Theme kicks in, clattering dice, crowds chanting, a goblin giggling, chaotic loot and drums. Then a loud crunch followed by "He's dead again."
Isn't that the BB3 intro? So that's plagiarism, isn't it, by ChatGPT?
Oh dear.
Why? Well. It's a bit. Hang on. What's that last one? Theme fades out with the sound of a sheep bleating mournfully and a very confused referee whistle. What innuendo is that then?
Oh, there was no mention of big guys.
No mention of big guys, but Welsh Tom Feeks made an appearance.
Yeah.
Maybe the big guy's the reason the sheep's bleating mournfully.
And that's why the valleys are distressed.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh fuck!
Wow.
Me.
I feel seen.
I'd rather not, but thank you for the offer. That's very kind.
Right, intro please. Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Dice Please, the bite-sized Blood Bowl podcast, brought to you by the people at Blood Bowl Live. My name is Chris. Joining me this week, as always, Mr. Scott Bryant. Scott, what's your favourite shape?
Good afternoon, Christopher. Favorite shape? Triangle.
Do you know what? I thought you would choose triangle. And how sad is that I even put thought into that?
It just shows about the emotional resonance and connection between us, Christopher. But thank you. But I like a triangle.
Clearly.
I like lots of shapes, but I do like a triangle.
Okay. Well, also joining us, Mr. Tom Huffle. Tom, what's your favourite shape?
Circle.
And joining us also, Mr. Tom Feeks. Favourite shape?
Pentagon.
Lovely. I'm also going to go triangle. It's. Oh, who cares? We're this week.
Can I ask what was the rationale between that particular choice of favouritism, Chris?
I don't know. You know.
Okay.
Well, this week we're not talking about shapes. Well, I guess in a way we are. We are talking about balls. Yes, that's right. It's a rule that I don't know how many people out there play in leagues or matches where they use some of these specific Blood Bowl ball rules that exist. There are a number of them. Some of them are particularly chaotic. I'm thinking of the squig ball and the gnome ball as examples of ones that can cause absolute utter chaos. One of the gnome balls can cause utter chaos in your games. And we're not going to go through all of them and see what they are, but we thought we would come up with our very own ball rules. We would do a little exercise of seeing whether we can come up with particularly chaotic or interesting rules that you can introduce into your game for the type of ball that you use. Well, that means we've done homework. So it's who do I pick on to present their homework first? And I think I'm going to call on Mr. Hovel.
Cool. I got 3. So I'm really good at homework.
Gold stars for you,
Thank
Tom.
you.
Okay. Sorry.
So I've got either 2 kind of general ones, which can be for any kind of team, just a general pitch, or I've got an Underworld Denizens one. What would people like to hear?
Oh, let's hear your Underworld ball.
So the Underworld ball is a warp charged mushroom ball. So when the player picks up or catches the warp charged mushroom ball, you roll a d6 after resolving the agility test. So you have to physically pick it up and then roll a d6. Okay. On a 1 or a 2, it's a bad trip, and the player immediately gains really stupid trait until the end of the drive. On a 3 and a 4, it's speed freak. The player gains a +1 movement for this activation only. Okay. For a 5, all mine, the player gains my ball skill until the end of the drive. And then 6 is mutation high, where you randomly determine 1 mutation skill that the player gains for the rest of the drive.
I like that. That's a very good starter.
That is high risk, high reward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought I'd keep it so that you get it and you get it for the entire drive, rather than just 1 turn. And also, that's it. You gain it, and you don't have to keep rolling every time or having to remember, because that's something I noticed with a number of the existing rules. You have to effectively do must remember the ball skill or whatever you want to call it every turn.
So a question then: let's say you pick up this ball and you get a random mutation, would you have to re-roll something or roll every time you hand off and someone else touches the ball? Is it every time the ball is touched?
Yeah. So every time the ball is handed off or another person picks it up.
So if you had a team of Fumblerooski, you could try and get your entire team to have mutations within like a couple of turns.
Yeah.
But that turn only lasts till the end. Is it the drive there, Tom, or the activation?
The drive.
Is that too much? Or would it be funnier if you just did it for that particular turn?
I guess if you're doing it for the whole drive, I mean, that drive could be 2 turns, or it's not going to be more than 8.
If you think about it, mutations, there's some really good mutations, but then there's others that would be like, meh, whatever kind of
or would it be until that effect lasts until the player loses possession or gives away the ball. So, for example, if you're a gutter runner,
Got it
you
while
pick
you're
up the
holding
ball.
it.
You pick up the ball. You get the mutation. So, say you get very long legs. You run down. You can do a little cheeky leap over as well. You can give someone the ball, and then they get the challenge of what does the ball do to them. And suddenly you've gone, wow! What happened there? Sort of like,
But remember, that's rolling a 6, though.
Yeah.
So you know, I've made it a little bit more challenging because the really stupid one that I did is a 1 or a 2, and that's until the end of the drive as well. So it's got kind of a risk involved.
I like it. I like it. I like the idea. I think there's then another route you could take this of having a ball which is like something that affects you only while you've got it. I think is quite cool, but having that lasting effect, I think, makes sense for a bit. Like you get the trip and then you hand it off, but you're still tripping a little bit as you give it to someone else. Feeks, you've played Underworld, haven't you? You've got an Underworld team. How would you if you were playing Underworld and this ball was in play, would you try and give it to as many of those like snotlings and goblins and stuff as you've got as possible? Like, would you kind of try and spread some of that, or because if a snotling gets really stupid, how much do you really care?
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one because Underworld effectively only has 2 ball carriers. They've got multiple players that can, but let's face it, it's only going to be your thrower or your gutter that you really want to have the ball. And do you want to risk them getting it? It could be fun. But yeah, I mean, it's next to a snotling, chuck a snotling on it and see what happens.
But equally, remember, this is not just for Underworld denizens. Whoever's playing against. So you can imagine, like you say, like an Elven Union team or something like that. Getting this.
A team that would normally you would expect to do lots of handing offs, like elves, where you've maybe got somebody picking up, them handing off to someone else, then passing to someone else. If you've then got fumble risky in play,
but that's why I've added in the bad trip one with a really stupid trait, and also the all mine, where you gain the ball skill, my ball skill until the end of the drive. So you're effectively stopping them from giving the ball away.
Yeah, I'd like that against elves. That feels very dark elfy or high elfy. Like they suddenly go, actually, no, it's mine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the glory hunter here. I like that.
Lovely ball to start with, Tom. Lovely ball in play indeed. Let's go to Tom Feeks because I know he can't contain his with all this ball talk. Feeks, what's your ball that you brought to us today?
So again, I've got 2 like Tom did. One's a sympathy ball, and one's a traitor ball. Which one would you like to hear?
Tom, what do you think?
let's try the sympathy one first. I'm curious to know what that's all about.
Yeah. So I don't think it'll take off. I don't know how Bloodbowl it is, but looking through the ball special rules that are already in play, a lot of them are negative. And I had an idea of a ball that if your ball carrier loses it for some reason, then roll a d6 on anything other than on a 2 to 4, nothing happens. On a 1, they get a -1 penalty to ever pick up the ball again. And on that drive. Then on a 5 or a 6, they gain a random mutation. Basically, the ball feels sorry for them that they've then lost the ball. And the idea behind it is if they roll the 1, the ball's tried to help them too much. They don't like the help. They feel like they're being patronized, so they don't want to associate with the ball anymore. But also, I'd love the idea of the ball trying to help them, but in the process, making them so ugly, they then gain foul appearance.
Why do I feel like there's some kind of low-level trauma that Tom is dumping on us with this ball from his high school rugby days. I don't know. It's like...
Came out so ugly, pummeled into the ground.
The love for random mutations within this podcast clearly becoming evident. That's not the way I thought you were going to go with it. I thought you were going to say, like, if there's a point where you lose the ball for whatever reason, then on a 6 the ball just goes, don't worry about it, just jumps back into your hands and you don't lose it. Almost like because I think is it safe pass, where if you roll a 1 you just don't fumble or anything. Almost like a ball that comes with safe pass, but chucking a mutation in there so the ball does leave you, but you mutate to in one way, shape or form. Suck if you got iron hard skin or really long legs or something that has no help with picking up the ball. But
it would do. Or if you get blitzed, it breaks armor, but then you get an iron hard skin, which would have then saved you.
Yeah, that
I don't. Yeah, I actually don't hate that. Maybe on a 6 with a safe pass. I just like the mutation table. It's just fun. You end up with some really weird builds.
Random mutations do create some chaos.
But
I think a lot of this is about disrupting the standard play, isn't it? That's the whole reason you would take these special balls anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Scott, would you, if you were playing, would you play different? How differently would you play, I guess, is the question, if Feeks' ball was in play?
Personally, I don't think it would change a lot of my play style, but it would be very entertaining. And that uncertainty is what I'd be enjoying about.
Because that's the main thing that I'm kind of thinking with all of these special ball rules, is that I went to a tournament with the squig ball, and it did kind of change a little bit the way that I thought about playing and the skills that I went, because the chances of the ball just jumping out of your hands were quite high. So you wanted to you needed to try, and you can't really minimize that because it's a bit lucky, but you want to make sure that picking up the ball is as easy as possible, and then you kind of guard the player with the ball more. So I think that's one thing I'm always conscious of with any of these rules, is like, how would it make you play different? Scott, what ball rule have you brought to the table?
So I have a ball called the ricochet ball. Ideally, I was thinking it could be for any little people, so any stunties, because they have too much energy. So the ricochet ball is a ball that has been overly magicked by a crap wizard, and it's got too much energy in it. Yeah. And every time you pick up the ball, you pass the ball, you catch the ball, and that pass can be a handoff. Even when you do fumble Rooski, roll a d6. Yeah. On a 2+, nothing happens. Fine, the ball carries on as normal. You roll a 1, and you can re-roll this. You can use a team re-roll if you want, or mascot or pro to amend this. On a 1, the ball's energy explodes. Yeah. So first of all, you roll a d8 to determine which direction the ball is going to shoot off in. Okay. Yeah. Now. Yeah. So you roll the d8, then you roll a d6. This is the number of players the ball will ricochet off. Yeah. So if you roll a 3, it'll ping to one player, the next player, and then the next player, and that third player has the attempt to pass it. Wait there, Chris, because I see you asking questions already. He's too far ahead. Right. This is this d6 is the number of players the ball will ricochet off. Yeah. The ball will ricochet in a straight line. So where you've rolled your d8 from, it will go in a straight line to the next player, irrespective of that, whether that player is yours or the opposition player. Yes, it'll go to that player. Then you roll the d8 again, and then it goes the other direction. Chris is like weeping already, I know. Then it goes to the other player. So it's like a bit of a pinball. you roll the d8, and then the ball will obviously go in a straight line to the next player based on, how many players you've rolled on that d6. The last player in the chain can catch the ball, and because the ball is running out of energy, they will get a -1 modifier as well.
Okay.
Yeah, hang on, Tom. Hang on. If you're talking, if the ball goes into the crowd, because it can shoot straight off the pitch. If the ball goes into the crowd absorb the energy by beating up the ball, and then they return the ball to the pitch following all the usual crowd return rules. If the last player who catches the ball is your player, so if, for example, I went to pick it up and I was the player and I rolled a 2, and it went first of all to Chris, then it pinged a d8 and it went straight to a player called Tom. If then Tom was on a catch 3, yes, it was edge 3, it would then be an edge 2 because the ball's running out, and if he catches a 2, he's got the ball. If Tom's on my team, no turnover. If Tom's not on my team, it's a turnover.
Do you have to, when it ricochets off people, do they have to take an armor test?
No.
Oh,
but I could add that in because that could be brutally funny. But that would just be carnage.
Take out the whole front line.
I hadn't thought about that, but now I think that'll absolutely be a killer, Tom. Especially if ping pong death. Chris, your jaw is open on the mic, mate.
I just don't understand.
Why?
So you roll the d8, which tells you the direction the ball's heading.
Yes.
What if there's no one in that direction?
Then it'll go off the pitch, won't it? Into the crowd.
So when you then roll the d6, so you roll.
Yeah.
So
come on, walk it through.
If you roll a 6 on the d6.
So, for example, I've rolled.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So someone's rolled a 5, and it goes in a direction, and there happens to be someone there. So it hits that person.
Yep.
And then where does it go?
Then you roll a d8, and it goes to the second person.
So then you roll a d8, but it's only going to hit a maximum of 5 people.
And the 5th player can catch it.
Okay. And at any point, if there's not someone in the line within the d8, within the line that you roll, then it just ends up in the crowd to throw it back in.
Yes.
Okay. Now I understand. Okay.
And you have to take armor every time it hits someone.
I hadn't added that in, but I think I would like to do that now because that'd be mental.
You're playing against stunties.
Mighty blow +1 on stunties.
And elves.
I might. If we're going to do the armor as well, I think you'd need to reduce it to a D3.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, there is a very real risk then, and this is play testing live to all our listeners and watchers. If you have D6, it might be too complicated and take too long. So therefore, I think, I agree. A D3 would be better because it'll mean you're not sitting there all week, passing, going back and forth. But I think a D3 with the armor break option would be very funny indeed.
I like how that's the point you're thinking this gets too complicated, Scott.
We could make it even worse. Fear not.
Do you secretly write the rules for Games Workshop? Because how that was worded.
I am concerned about Scott, although because every time we ask about these kind of things, he comes up with some sort of pyrotechnic skill.
What that basically kills people.
Or heat-seeking balls.
Do you know what the fascinating thing
is? I did think about bomb. I did think about an exploding ball, but I bet they'll all expect me to do that.
The fascinating thing is with Scott is that whenever we come up with these kind of things and we have homework, either Scott does the homework or sometimes Scott doesn't do the homework. And I feel like there's an inverted bell curve where like, Here's Scott hasn't done the homework and it's incredibly complicated. And then he's put a little bit of effort in and then he's spent lots of time on the homework and then it's incredibly complicated again.
That's how I roll.
I don't hate the principle of that though. The idea of a ball that is suddenly just going to explode with all the energy.
Do you have to roll every time it's your turn, or you want to move that player? How does that work?
Well, if you move, no. But if you're going to touch the ball, then Feeksy, stop now. Every time you go to pick up the ball, pass the ball, hand off the ball.
Oh, okay. So I need to roll every time I touch a ball. Okay.
There's another clip sound back there.
I'm gonna let Pete sit on that one for a bit. Okay.
I'm not proud of that one. I'm sorry.
Okay. My ball suggestion.
So was that a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or just let him go on his own merry little way, and we'll come back. We'll bring it back to reality sometime in the future.
For
I
me,
think
yeah.
that would be really good fun.
I'd say thumbs up, but with tweaks.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I prefer the idea of the D3
Yeah,
rather
I'll
than
take a D3 rather than D6. Yeah.
But I like the idea of it.
So I am bringing what I'm calling the infinity egg ball. So it is an egg, but it's a ball, but it's an egg. If the ball, so if you're playing on a grass pitch, the ball does nothing. If you're playing on any other kind of pitch, then anytime the ball hits the ground, you roll a d6, and instead of a scatter, so it doesn't. So instead of a bounce, it doesn't bounce. Instead, you roll a d6, and on a 6, the egg hatches, and inside is a little lizard snotling holding another egg. You can then control if you receive the ball, or you are the last person in possession of the ball, you control that snotling egg. It's strength 1, it's movement 3, it is edge 3, it's passing 6, and it is armor 6. So it's a slow snotling. So it has the ball. Then you can control it and you can move it how you want. You can hand off and all of that stuff. If you hand off, as soon as they let go of the ball, and give it to another player, the weird little lizard snotling dies straight away and is removed from the field. And then you hold the ball as the egg. And then you just go again. So again, if that egg hits the floor at any point, roll a 6, it cracks, snotling comes out, last person who held the ball controls the snotling with the ball, and then you go again.
So you have the ball, but you gain an extra player, and that extra player can go away from the person holding the ball.
So the egg hatches,
Right.
and then out of the egg appears the snotling thing holding another egg, which is then the ball. As soon as that weird little snotling thing loses the ball, they die straight away. So if you block them and they drop it, they die. They're just gone straight away. If they hand off, they die straight away. And then the egg that he was holding, that's the new ball.
But if you drop the egg, is it a turnover? The snotling appears and it's a turnover.
Yeah, it's a turnover.
Okay.
But is it the fact that there's a snotling that has the ball on the pitch and you just control that person?
Yeah. So if you drop, so let's say you try to hand off, and you fail the handoff, and the ball lands on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
If you roll a 6, if you roll a 1 to 5, it's just there as normal. If you roll a 6, it hatches, and then there's a little snotling holding the ball there instead. If that snotling survives a turn, on your next turn, you control it, because the last person who held the ball controls the snotling with the egg ball.
Okay.
And it's infinitely regenerating. So as soon as that snotling doesn't have the egg ball, they die. But it will crack and a new one appears. So it's just a never-ending cycle of hatching snotlings holding balls. But they're only movement 3, so you can't run them in. You could score with them, I guess, but you're not getting any SPP because that player doesn't stay on your team. But they've only got movement 3, so you're probably better off handing on, and they're weak as anything as well. They can't be thrown. They don't have right stuff, so you can't throw the snotling creature holding the ball. They don't have any skills. Like, they are pretty useless. But they could wander closer to someone else and hand off. That might be beneficial.
Can someone? Sorry, I may have missed this. can someone just steal the ball off them? Because if they're constantly cracking and regenerating, then how is the other person going to get the ball?
What do you mean?
So if they're constantly cracking and regenerating when they hit
Only on a
the
6,
floor,
and only if it hits the floor.
only on a 6, right? Sorry, yeah, I missed that part.
Yeah.
Cool. I was going to say, in my head, I thought I was going down the lines of you've created a situation where you never lose the ball.
No. And also, you could like your opponent. If you're in control of the snotling ball creature and it's got the ball, your opponent can go and punch it and if it goes down, it loses the ball and therefore immediately dies. The second that little snotling doesn't have the ball, it dies and it's removed from the pitch.
Can you remind us of the stats, the stat line for this little lizard goblin?
Yes. Strength 1.
Yeah.
Strength 1, movement 3, edge 3, passing 6, armor 6.
No skills, nothing.
No skills.
Okay.
Okay.
And because I know you've thought about this already, what's his name or her name?
Oh no, I haven't named them. They're just called the Infinity Egg
Chris.
Ball,
Yeah, because they die.
and then immediately come back. Yeah, you don't want to get attached to this thing. Like you're going to see it if you keep rolling 6s, you're going to watch it die over and over and over again.
Oh.
Oh, I know, but then you'd end up having Snotty, the golden snotling, the 17th, and it would have such a storyline to it, Chris.
Okay, well you can maybe you can name it, but as soon as you've named it once, every following name has to be
The second.
the second, the
Yeah.
third. And
How-
the key thing is, if you're playing on a grass pitch, then the ball has no effect and it's a normal ball. Because if you drop eggs onto grass, they don't crack.
If it's hard grass, they do. What if there's been a drought and it hasn't been watered for a while?
I was going to
Shut
say,
up, Scott.
There's a hosepipe man coming in, you know.
Exactly.
this is our homework for next week.
Everyone go
Fix
outside.
global warming with
Chuck some eggs in
Bloodbowl.
the air.
I like that, but I like the what I'm imagining is someone with a 3D printer somewhere doing a Pokemon Bloodbowl crossover with like holding. Oh no! So yeah, no Pokemon, but someone like holding like a Toad egg from Mario. I'm getting confused.
What do you want?
What?
I don't know.
Have you had your pill? Have you had your pills this morning, Feetsy?
No, I haven't.
not
The
so
chemist has run out. I'm just imagining the sculpts that would come from it, holding like one of the little spotted toad eggs from Mario, or is it a toad egg?
Anyway, Chris,
I-
I think I'd give it a go.
Yeah,
I'd give it a go, Chris.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite good. Be an interesting one.
Other people had some other ball ideas, and let's do honourable mentions. So just name the ball and give a very brief overview, and then the rest of us will give a quick yes or no. Hovel, you had another one?
Yep. My other one was multi-ball. Better than one ball, 2 balls.
Multi-ball.
So both teams.
Isn't that already a thing?
Let's see where he goes with it, because there is
Yeah.
one that does
Both
this.
teams kick off. Okay, so you go through the normal motion of saying, right, who's going to kick, who's going to receive. So that determines who starts. But you go through the normal motions of, right, you've kicked off to me, and then you do the same again the other way.
Okay.
So you're both kicking off, but then obviously using the whole normal rules, you then say who's going to go first, whose turns first. You then play with 2 balls on the pitch, okay, and you don't reset until both balls have been scored.
Okay. So it's similar, yeah, because there's a gnome ball that is similar, where there are 2 balls, but one of them is an illusion, and if you score with the illusion, it just vanishes.
Yeah.
And then, but this is the drive doesn't end until either 8 turns or both balls have scored.
Correct.
Jesus.
I'm in favour. Scott,
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Feeks,
Yeah,
Grudgingly, yeah.
great.
yes from me.
Feeks, you had another ball?
Yeah, traitable. So links in with Alistair's point from a couple of weeks ago about having cheerleaders and backup staff. You could have a wizard who can bewitch the ball. So on your opponent's turn, so say you've got the ball on your opponent's turn, if they surround the ball, they can roll a d6. On a 6, the ball just jumps over to them. They make a edge test to catch it, and the normal rules follow that. But it can just hop over to that. But then the backroom staff can do stuff to adjust the ball and adjust the roll to then make it more favourable or not.
I actually think that might be a good general wizard rule to bring in, Feeksy, as well as like Zap and as well as Fireball. Ball control. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
The balls are. I do need more ball control in my life.
And yeah, I think that could be a general wizard rule.
But yeah, linked to a wizard. I was trying to think of it like, do you link it to the inducement? And then we obviously had the conversation about backroom staff. So having a wizard in the backroom staff instead.
Wizard controlling a ball in the back room. Yeah, sure, I'm on board. Scott, you on board?
Yeah.
Tom, you on board?
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Any other balls?
Not for this show.
I had super light ball.
Sorry,
So-
Tom. Yeah, what's the next ball?
Super light ball. So when you declare a throw, it has to always be a long bomb, and you roll a d6. On a 1 and a 3, it's always wildly inaccurate from the thrower, and it's a 2d6 scatter. On a 4+, you get 2+ on the long bomb.
The anti-elf ball. I like it.
You can only do long bombs.
Yeah.
So
Because
Tom,
it's so much, but woo!
when you said about a light ball, I had this impression of when people try to throw a balloon, if it goes as light as a balloon, they try and throw it, and it just goes up in the air and just floats. It's just like, yeah. And it's like,
Oh, but no, that could be an option for one of the wildly inaccurates.
yeah, it just
Yeah.
floats
It
away,
doesn't
or
scatter as much; it just goes and then sinks.
you could introduce then a wind factor, and people can blow it based on their strength. How far they go? I'm going to stop there because this is a rabbit hole. This is Wonderland.
You just
I'd
don't want
play
to
that.
go down the whole road of blowing balls.
Well, look, we've just spent half an hour talking about our balls. If you want to tell us about your balls and the balls you like to play with, Mr. Scott Bryant, how do people get in touch?
After the ChatGPT intro, I'm going to keep it clean. If people want to get in touch with us, please, please feel free to drop us a note. Usual email, newdiceplease@gmail.com. Big thank you to everybody for contributing so far, giving us your ideas, your thoughts, your feedback. It's lovely to receive them. It really is nice to know that we're having a positive impact on the community. New Dice Please, uppercase, lowercase, middle case, fixed cases, even Comic Sans we will grudgingly accept. newdiceplease@gmail.com. And if you need any more Blood Bowl fixes, or you just want to talk about your balls, Tom, Hovel, what do they do? Where do they go?
Yeah, so we're on the socials on Instagram and Blue Sky under New Dice Please, and also you can see us as well as hear us on YouTube under Blood Bowl Live, and you can get us on all the podcasts. And a little special shout out to Daniel Hawkins. Thank you very much for your email. So people do actually contact us.
Way.
Thank you, Daniel. Hey.
Tom Feeks, what's your favourite word?
My favourite word. Oh, you warned me this was coming, and I didn't even prepare.
We
for
said
it.
we were going to include you
I'm
more in the outro,
sorry.
and we said this is what it would be, and you're not ready.
Chris, I'd call it there. I wouldn't even bother if he's
Yeah.
not committed for
No, I
one.
don't want-
What's the word?
Fluffernutter.
What a letdown. Thank you, Mr. Scott Bryant. Thank you, Mr. Hubble. Thank you, Mr. Feeks. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We have been New Dice Please, and we'll see you next time.
Do I breathe? All seriousness, do I breathe heavily into the mic?